to my friend earlier um, about like some traumatic issues that some some incidents that have happened over the course of my life, and specifically in this case, I was talking about the stuff that happened when I had my stroke, and I want to share my bondage, not my bondage, my trauma. What bondage? I don't know why I said bondage. I want to share my trauma with you so that we can bond. That's what I wanted to say. That's why I said bondage. Anyway, I'm sharing this with you in an attempt to bond. So, I had my stroke a few years ago, back when COVID had hit, and um, I I was singing with Cece. I had a stroke, passed out, went to a hospital, and ultimately wound up in a nursing home facility where I was using the gym for rehabilitation purposes and working with these two specific trainers that had been recommended. They were phenomenal, and they got me, walking and stuff again. But it was in a nursing home. It was a nursing home in the boonies. So there were stories. I feel like staying in a nursing home at like 40 years old, there were going to be stories anyway. But this, this space facilitated extra stories. So I was sharing with my friend that one such story was that I was, when I first had my stroke, I wasn't walking very well, and my vision was doing all kinds of crazy things. And so I had to use the restroom, and I had to ask for help because I wasn't fully walking well on my own yet. And listen, if you know anything about me, you know that I cannot stand. I hate asking anybody to do anything for me ever. Now, this season has been one for the books because I've had to rely so heavily on the kindness of people. But before that, I never in my life wanted to ask anyone to do anything for me ever, much less ask them to take me to the restroom. So I was in my little room. I was not walking well enough on my own yet. I'm pretty sure I was having vision issues. So, like, instead of having double vision, I had like 150 vision. Like, if you were talking to me and standing right here, I could be looking over here because I could not tell. I mean, I would see a whole room full of you, and I thought you were here. I couldn't tell who's the real one of you. It was a lot going on. So, it was under these circumstances that I found myself in my room, really needing to go to the restroom. And so I was calling all the necessary people, called the front desk, called for help, and they basically told me there was no one available, and that I had to wait. So I kept trying to wait, It was getting so bad. It was getting so bad, and ultimately I called, and it was really bad, and I called. I couldn't get anybody at the front desk, so I called the actual I don't know, the headquarters of the entire company, and they told me, listen, if you can't get anybody to come help you, just potty on yourself. Pure poop on yourself. Then someone has to come. What? I was 40. I didn't even know how to potty on myself, pee or poop on myself. I didn't want to go potty on myself. And I can't remember if I did or not. Thank God for the stroke in that case. So it was then that I began to hoard adult diapers. And so I began to smuggle adult diapers whenever I saw them laying around, which was often because nursing home. I would try to find them in my size, and I would steal them, the whole bag. And I knew that I'd resorted to a life of crime, but it was necessary. I had to pee, and I could not rely on anyone else to get me to the restroom. Gosh, that's so humiliating. Another case is, gosh, this is bad. So, they did not give me a shower very often. And I remember it had been about a month since my last full shower. And the day was, I was kind of looking forward to that day. And the woman that was going to give me a shower was not working that day. But in her place, they hired someone, a man, a young man from a staffing agency who he looked like he was about 22, 3, 4, 5. He was also about 5 inches shorter than me, which is fine, except for I'm a big girl and he had to help my big butt to the shower. Also, he had to undress me and get me in the shower. So, he's wearing like a long john type shirt, a flannel shirt, and some fitted jeans, and some Timberlands, some yellow Timbs, and he wore those, and a do-rag into the shower. And he got me undressed and got me into the shower, which was very, very awkward, but I was just so happy to have water on my dusty butt body that I just dealt with it. But while we were dealing with all this madness, he starts talking to me, which, leave me alone, I don't want to talk. He was like, listen, what happened to you, if you don't mind me asking? You're really young to be here. What's your story? Well, that was awkward enough. But then, unaware of my disability. Okay, so I had a seizure, but I also grew this big old cyst on the base of my brain, on the cerebellum, which is where many things are, but my memory was greatly affected. And so, my short-term memory was jacked up, and all kinds of other things were jacked up. But, so if I repeat myself or I jump around, please forgive me. It could still be affected. Probably not, but it could still happen. However, I'm pretty sure homie said, now I get a little young to be in here. If you don't mind me asking, what's your story? And then I tell him, which is awkward because I'm getting naked and he's 25. And then we get in the shower, and because my memory was messed up way worse than it is now, I didn't remember that I couldn't really walk and do stuff. And so I stand up to wash myself, and I slip and fall. And I don't just fall a little bit. I fall hard. I fall flat on my face, and I bust my head on the wall of the shower. And, I mean, ugly fall. Because, shower, so I'm like I'm splayed everywhere. It had to be a very glorious sight. And I bust my head on the wall, the shower wall, on the little brick caulk line. So I have this Harry Potter lightning bolt looking scar on my forehead for at least a month. And it was hot. one of my better moments, I'd say. I'm pretty sure I've never looked better. Butt naked, flopping around on the ground like a big wet seal, and hitting my face and head up against the wall. Sexy stuff. Sexy stuff. So, what's your story?